Earth debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Sensual Goat, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm alright, other than a £400 bill for calipers on our crappy old 25-year-old car. Other than that, everything's hunky-dory, Neil. Thank you for asking. Everyone loves unexpected car builds. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? Horizon, formerly known as Earth curvature.
In orthographic view?
In orthographic view, the derivation of the point called horizon, claimed to be Earth curve, utilizes a flat surface level and parallel eye level to infer it. So no. Any scientific evidence of gravity? Looking at you, Discord. We warmed you up. We warmed you up.
I dropped something.
Say again.
I dropped something and it fell down. There you go.
I'm just looking up at these clouds here. Are they going down?
What's down again?
Down reference to a horizontal plane, perpendicular to it.
Well, that's that.
That's the end of that. Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth to describe that downward vector or upward vector in the case of clouds and how they get there. So there is no downward bias. That was superseded 109, almost 110 years ago now, by Einsteinian bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry. Much easier to debunk.
Well, I heard that it refined it. It built upon it rather than superseded.
Absolutely not. They're in entirely different geometries. One is three-dimensional, the other is fourth-dimensional. You can't translate three-dimensionality into fourth-dimensionality geometry. It's not possible. There are no conversions. How are you going to describe the fourth dimension in Newtonian mass-attracting mass? You can't. No space-time to bend in Newtonian. How can it be a refinement if it doesn't exist in the former? It isn't. It superseded it.
No, but time does exist. So therefore, 4D exists.
Time does not exist. It's a concept that we have derived from patterns of light used so we can conceptualize the passage of our existence in the known universe. It is a concept. It certainly is not an aspect. It certainly is not physical. It is certainly not something you can manipulate or exist within.
So you're saying that time isn't real?
It's a concept.
You flat earthers just deny things.
Concept. Certainly isn't a dimension. There is no fourth dimension. It's just invented in Einstein's maths. Just poofed it into existence.
But atomic clocks, I've heard something about atomic clocks and time dilation. They proved it. So just look up atomic clocks and then you'll understand it.
Okay, so what you're saying is you can provide a parlour trick. What's the scientific evidence is the question on the table. Parlour tricks aren't going to cut it. There is no
I'll give
scientific
it a go.
evidence because there is no phenomena. Conjuring one with cesium ain't going to cut it.
Anyone from Discord going to help me out? I need a white knight.
You need a baller. Baller to help you. Not with an answer, but with distractions and rumpusing. That's what you need. Because that's all you're going to get. Right, let's move on. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container for the gas to press upon?
Gas fills space unless it's contained.
I was speaking to these two Saudi Arabian students yesterday on OMI, and I'd be intrigued. What language do they speak in Saudi Arabia? Anybody know? Let me know in the comments.
Arabic, maybe?
I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't ask either. Say again, Mr. Palmer.
Yeah, they're right, Arabic.
If anybody speaks Arabic and is a member of mine, there's a slim chance. Let me know what they're saying while I'm talking to them, because their English isn't fantastic. I edited out all of their disclaimers, right? So these two chaps, they were lovely, were like, look, we'd like to learn better English so we can communicate these concepts to you, but our English just isn't satisfactory enough to communicate these complex descriptions. Because from what I gleaned, the one guy's like, no, I'm studying space, right? I'm like, space is fake. Gas would fill it. And I describe how a fart would behave, because obviously there's a bit of a language barrier. So I'm trying to keep it as simplistic as I can. And the thing that popped into my mind was, describe flatulence, because it's a very easy concept to grasp in terms of the dispersion of the gas. And they got it immediately. And where they went, or the one guy in particular, was, no, there is a barrier. There's like a layer over Earth. You're like, well, how do the rockets get out? And they're looking at each other going, yeah, gas would fill the space. But then they had a conversation, presumably in Arabic, to try and qualify some of these concepts. And the simplistic one that they could put into their English, for me, was atmosphere. And I'm like, do farts form spheres? And they're like, no. I'm like, right, what do they do again? Spread out everywhere? Yeah? So that was, although it might be a difficult conversation to listen to, I don't know, I'll have to wait for the feedback, because there is lots of pauses where they're chatting between themselves in their mother tongue. Obviously, I don't know what they're saying, so I'm just pausing, because I want it to be on the recording, because my hope is someone will come along and say, what they're actually saying is, no, the gas go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. Or whatever they're saying, I don't know. That was my guess, and they didn't confirm that I was correct, so it would be intrigued to know what they're saying. I'll release that to the public in due course, probably at the weekend. But yeah, if you remember, check it out. There's about half a dozen videos that I made last night and yesterday. Just do one more housekeeping, then move on to the video. Can you remember in that video, Liam, what housekeeping question was relevant to what he was covering? Can you remember?
Gas pressure at a container came up. Most certainly.
Well, just in case. Any evidence of axial rotation with respect to a horizontal plane of the Earth-based variety?
Not from an airplane or a hot air balloon.
Yeah, you're going to need a flat plane to describe that axis. Okay, we've got a video to cover. Guy today is called Jay. Dead easy to share the name of his channel. Not particularly catchy, but easy to say at least. And he has got a video called I Baited the Smartest Flat Earther. It is sarcastic, so he's not suggesting from watching the first 2 minutes of sweary nonsense ad hominems, which we will be skipping past and getting into the meat and potatoes of the responses he's giving to the comments he's got from flat earthers after baiting them. So that's enough summary to justify spinning on through the first 2 minutes, and we'll get into it. But as is always the case, please let this videographer Jay know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment. Now, by chance, Huey actually went through in fine detail the comments that yesterday's Flat Earth debate audience indulged in when they went to the videographer, I can't remember his name, Hernandez something, and left comments to say exactly this. Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, he did a response video, it'd be great if you left a link to his video, sharing the YouTube love. You know, all the right things were said by what was then described as cult-like behaviour by Bullbuster's panel, hopefully in sarcasm, because it is precisely what I ask you to do, and I am eternally grateful to those of you who do that. And I made that clear yesterday on QE's live stream as we went through the comments. So if you did happen to make a comment yesterday, I bet you're pleased with yourself, because we'd have critiqued it on QE's live stream on, I think he just calls it QE Live. So anyway, let the videographer know, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, as I just suggested, the idea being that were he to make a response, he'd put a link to my video. Now, as was the case on Monday, this particular videographer happens to be smaller than us. So it's normally the case that we're the smaller videographer making response videos to larger ones, but in the last couple of cases, it hasn't been the case. That is to say that they, as I would have done, will genuinely value your interaction with their video. It will help them and assist them in the YouTube algorithmic love that I appeal to when we are dealing with larger YouTubers. Well, in this instance, we are the larger YouTuber. We are the larger community, and you can actually make a difference to this videographer, regardless of whether or not we agree with him, from a YouTube perspective only, not from a Flat Earth perspective. He and you, the audience, will find out how we regard his general sentiments towards Flat Earth as we get through this video. But hopefully that's bought enough time for, or I should have put the chat up, for the chat to actually have toddled along to his video and let him know in the nicest, politest possible way. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a comment that hopefully doesn't get immediately eradicated by the YouTube bots and doesn't cause any offence to Jay, so he's inclined to leave it and not delete it because you've been sweary and rude. So just leave him a polite comment, and hopefully that's enough time for you to have done that. I mean that sincerely. If you are actually in the live audience, why is there only 55 people watching? That's terrible. How long have we been live? Oh, we've only been live 10 minutes. Fair enough. Please share the show. There's only 55 people watching. That's terrible. Hopefully we'll get a bigger audience as we get into this video. So was there anything anybody wanted to add before we did get into it?
Yeah, just say you'll need your fallacy bingo cards and lots of pens.
Lots of what? Tens?
Pens or pencils.
Oh, pens.
Your preference.
Okay, yeah, well, and if you're a globe believer, get your crayons out, I suppose. Right, let's get into it.
Doesn't show any of the documents, doesn't leak any of the documents. I want to read those documents. Please provide evidence. That's not evidence. The second law of thermodynamics says outer space is fake. That's not what the second law of thermodynamics says. The second law of thermodynamics states that the state of entropy in the entire universe as an isolated system will always increase over time.
Yeah, therefore gas with a description of entropic dispersion would fill space. Now, granted, the guy who's giving you that message hasn't made that explicitly clear. I would describe the principle before the second law as the citation, if you will, to back that assertion. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space. This is described by the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy, gas dispersion.
The second law also states that the changes in entropy in the universe can never be negative. How the...
Yeah, so once gas disperses into space, it's never going to come back. As MIT, was it Yale? I forget which, described it. It's like perfume getting out of the bottle. Once it comes out, you're not going to get it back in again. Yeah? Like the genie. Once it's out, that's it. Yeah, that's entropy. Goes in one direction. Otherwise known as the arrow of time. Yeah? Notice how we were talking about time in the pre-show, if you've been listening as a continuation, when we were talking about the superseding of Newtonian mass-attracting mass with Einsteinian bent pseudo-Riemannian fourth-dimensional space-time. Okay? The bending and warping of time doesn't exist. It's conceptual and invented by Einstein. Meanwhile, how things, if you will, decay, disperse, spread out, that's entropy.
How the fuck does that imply outer space is fake? This is just another baseless assertion.
Not baseless assertion. If you understood what you just read, yeah? Entropy. when you're talking about gas and how it would fill a space, that's dispersion. That's entropic dispersion.
You absolute fucking moron.
No, you didn't comprehend what you read when you looked it up. Here we go, he's clarifying it.
You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum.
That's pretty clear. You're saying it's a baseless assertion. He cited you the second law of thermodynamics. It explained entropic principles. And now he's explained it in terms of how that affects you with your sky vacuum belief. Why would you call the guy stupid? Anybody feel that the commenter did a bad job? I was going to say he did until it was clarified exactly how I would. Gas would fill the space. Can't have gas next to a vacuum. What's wrong with that? Anybody pick flaw with the commenter? Or is it just this guy's dumb? Go with dumb then. You're just dumb. You don't understand what you read when you looked up the second law of thermodynamics.
You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. What do you think would happen? Gas would fill space.
Even if the world was flat?
Sorry, even if the world was flat? No, you've got a sky vacuum belief. You suggesting that what? Flat earthers also have a sky vacuum belief that would be debunked by this?
Yes.
If you like.
There would still be a vacuum.
No, there wouldn't. It would still be a second law of thermodynamics violation. So your response is to say, well, your vacuum wouldn't work either. But he's not even saying that. He's saying your vacuum must also violate a law of nature. Therefore, two wrongs make a right. You've also got a sky vacuum. No, I haven't. What are you babbling about? I don't really understand this attempt to package up a false dichotomy to present the failure on the flat earth side as a reason to justify there being a sky vacuum. You believe in one too? Okay. No, we don't. We understand the principles of dispersion, entropy.
Next to the flat earth.
No, mate. No, that would also be a second law of thermodynamics violation. Gas would fill space.
You can collect $200,000 if you prove Earth's spin or curve. Please link me how I could collect that $200,000. I would love to have that. No.
Oh, hold on. Where's your evidence that we spin? Is that it? I would love to have 200 grand. Give me the contact information. Well, how would you prove it? That was the question on the table. How'd you prove it? I mean, we understand that your globe comes with a Coriolis deflection assertion that we can overcome. You don't know that.
No one has ever proved this, ever. I'm pretty sure this person spends the entirety of their online life.
Sorry, this isn't a response to what he put to you. Or she. This is an ad hominem. You're about to describe what this person is, having never met them. It's just a commenter.
In fringe internet Facebook flat earth groups. Now,
What? Sorry, you've divined the social habits of a random comment. Okay. Clown show? That's a comment. You think you know where he's spending his social media time, or her? You have no idea. You're a clown. Why are you doing this other than to make yourself look incredibly stupid?
NASA uses green screens and CGI to fool people into their spinning ball religion. There's no proof. Please.
What? They declare it themselves on their own documentation. What are you talking about? Furthermore, everything that NASA do is debunked by what you glossed over because you didn't understand. That'd be entropic dispersion. Gas fills space. All of NASA's claimed pictures from that area where gas should be, would be, and would be directed to the second law of thermodynamics as you already read it, to know why every single image is fake. If they were taking pictures from a vacuum, because they've traversed the high-pressure gas we're breathing, the high-pressure gas would do the same. Just follow them into that area of volume. We'd never develop gas pressure, because it'd have nothing to press on.
Please provide proof. You're just asserting that. NASA has air bubbles in their outer space videos because it's filmed underwater to fake weightlessness. Please prove that. That is...
Okay, I mean, fair enough, it's the flat earther making the assertion. It's easy enough to demonstrate that they've got I forgot the official name that NASA give their big massive tank that's got an ISS in it. But they have got underwater tanks with an ISS in it that they train in. And they make that openly public. You know, hiding the truth in plain sight. That's how they fake space. How do I know that's how they fake space? Prove that that's how they're faking it. Well, because there is no Narnia. There is no sky vacuum. To be on an ISS in the same manner that they film underwater, for a fact. So if there's no outer space to have an ISS in, it's just a twinkling light. But not in a sky vacuum with men in tin cans. The only men in tin cans are underwater in a massive pool. Deep submersion, something or other. And they openly admit to it. Do your research a bit better. Why are you telling the flat earther to prove that? You need to prove there is a sky vacuum. You've never been. You have to take the word of your priests, who operate in an area that violates natural law.
Is another assertion. You're not providing evidence, you're just saying people are doing things.
Amazon Prime Big Deal Days are here. 2 days of epic deals.
Wires and harnesses to fake weightlessness so people believe in their outer space religion. Again, you have no evidence to support that. Every picture of outer space is a fake cartoon image that NASA admits is fake.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that as a decent standard from the commenter. So every picture from a place that cannot possibly exist, because we'd all be choking with no gas to breathe, is fake. If you can travel to a vacuum to take pictures of high pressure gas on a blue marble, not filling the space you're in, taking pictures, that's a straight up second law of thermodynamics violation. Gas fills space.
Please provide evidence that NASA admits that every picture of outer space is a cartoon image.
I mean, I could offer you that. I mean, I don't use this standard or cover NASA. I'm not interested in what liars have to say about a place that isn't real. But I used to be, I still am, subscribed to Science at NASA. And they disclaim that the images they provide you are not pictures. They make it abundantly clear in the bottom left-hand corner of all of the images that they provide that it's a artist rendition, artist representation, CGI rendering. They disclaim it all the time. Yeah? Now you're telling the flat earther he needs to prove that NASA say they fake this stuff. Well, they do. But it doesn't change how we would argue about it. We would point out that anything claimed to have come from Narnia, I mean sky vacuum, is automatically fake because there isn't one. There's no giant area above our heads that gas at pressure isn't filling. It's like saying, put pressure around the rim of this wheel. Don't bother with the tyre. I don't need anything to contain that gas pressure. It can just be at a much higher pressure and not fill the space around it. So just put the high pressure gas around the rim of the wheel. Forget the tyre. No, you absolutely require containment to produce a gas pressure differential in the tyre. It's going to press on the tyre. What's our pressure pressing on? A vacuum? No, that would be an area it would fill instantly. Furthermore, we'd have never developed gas pressure in the first place. The first particle of gas in a heliocentric ball Earth world of fantasy orbital motion would come out of the ground, travel in whatever vector it was travelling, and never return. Like in the description of entropy, you won't get the perfume back in the bottle. Yeah. The gas would come out the ground, go into space, and that would be it. It would never press on anything. There's no tyre around Earth in your bullshit world of ball Earth in sky vacuum.
Please provide evidence. NASA steals $60 million a day from you to shoot helium balloon rockets and satellites into the ocean.
I think it's 67, actually.
Air bubbles in space, green screens, hairspray and hair to fake zero G.
I don't know where he's got these arguments, but they're crap. No. The reasons and wherefores and logistics of faking space shouldn't be used as a debunking of space. space itself where the woman with the hairspray sprayed up. So, you know, they can easily explain away that if you put that to them as a standard. Why is the woman with hairspray on harnesses with green screens necessary? Well, because there is no area above our heads that is 10 to the minus 17 tall. There is no sky vacuum. So they absolutely must fake it. But the minute you know why they'd have to fake it, that would be that there is no area above our heads to go to in rockets, because so would all the gas we're breathing. You stop concerning yourself with how they faked it. It becomes inconsequential. You know they're faking it. How they do it with green screens and all, I couldn't care less. Yeah, they're not in a place that isn't real. There's no sky vacuum.
So the videos of the astronauts on the International Space Station, that's not 0G. That's just somebody with hairspray.
Yeah, that's why it's a crap standard. No, the claim is that they're in an area of volume looking back at high-pressure gas on a blue marble that's not filling the black vacuum. Just high-pressure gas chilling out, not expanding in line with entropic law. Yeah, the gas comes out of the ground, goes up really high and goes, oh, you know what, I'm going to go back down again. Like perfume coming out of a bottle and going, sod this, I'm going to go back in. Yeah, defiance of the second law of thermodynamics, my friend.
Yeah, it's just hairspray, so their hair gets all frizzy. Astronauts on wires and harnesses. All government and military design documents assume a flat and non-rotating Earth.
Yeah, the flat and non-rotating Earth assumption for NASA and aviation documents is absolutely true and could be cited. But it doesn't really negate the fact that the crap standard that came before it was green screens and harnesses. No, that's the how. How they fake it is green screen and harnesses. Why they fake it is always going to be a more pertinent question. Yeah? Watch tomorrow... what is it? Tomorrow Never Comes or Die Another Day or something like that. There's a James Bond film where the villain of the movie is a media mogul, like guy who runs newspapers, and he's just controlling the world through propaganda. And he explains that the who and the what and the where, they're not the important part of the story. Why is always going to be the most important part of the story. In this instance, how has taken precedent over why. Why do they have green screens? Why do they spray their hair? Well, because they need to pretend they're in a place that doesn't exist. That's why they fake it. And when you know why they fake it, how they fake it becomes a lot less interesting, doesn't it?
Pilots admit it's flat. Please provide evidence. Emergency.
Oh, we've got pitch data. Yeah, it's documented as measured flat for aviation, above the horizontal plane of reference in terms of pitch. Yeah, we can prove Earth's flat.
Flight paths make no sense on a globe and make perfect sense on a flat Earth. No, they...
Well, no, they don't, because when you say make sense on a flat Earth, which map would you be referencing for a flat Earth? They're all globe projections that have come from latitude and longitude circles of equal elevation measured off a flat Earth, projected onto a globe. In the case of the Mercator, projected out onto a cylinder and then rolled out flat. So you're going to tell me that that's an accurate flat Earth map? No, I'm not going to buy that. No, it's all part of the deception in that regard. We've got globe projections, not globe maps. It wouldn't work with areas of equal elevation. It wouldn't work with flat Earth angle measurements to the stars. So all the maps have got to be flat so they function with a flat Earth. But they're all distorted because of their globe projection nature, not because of there being inaccurate flat Earth maps. They're all flat.
They don't. That's retarded. You're wrong.
Right, all maps are flat, dum-dum.
And I could say that, and you're going to ask me, okay, what's your evidence? What's your evidence?
Flight data in terms of the pitch data, elevation angles that created the maps, latitude and longitude grid, also part of the systems that are used on maps. Celestial navigation, surveying, all of it deals with a flat Earth. The horizon itself is used to establish a horizontal plane of reference. Everything that you ever describe in terms of altitude will always be described from sea level, a horizontal plane of reference to give you the altitude, with a description of linear feet in height or linear distance in miles or kilometers along a flat ground. Everything you ever reference ever will be with respect to a flat Earth, son. Maybe you should look into this subject a little bit more. You're over bum smacked by me, Nathan Oakley, a flat earther who knows how Earth is measured.
All you're doing when all you do is make baseless assertions in a comment section, the only thing that I need to do to counter those assertions
is what failed to comprehend the second law of thermodynamics and entropic principles, because it wasn't baseless. You had a citation that you had to go and look up, dum-dum. Now you're saying it's baseless? I tell you what, why don't you just make it up? Make up what they didn't give you and you had to look up.
It's just say, no, you, Uno reverse card. No, those are wrong. Flat Earth is openly censored by the government. Yes, something that isn't scientific, it isn't proven in any way, shape, or form, it has absolutely no evidence, has...
Really? What about what I just detailed? Your globe would not exist if it wasn't for the flat Earth elevation angle measurements that created the Polaris-centric grid on that globe. Where do you think your lines of latitude on your globe come from? But for the fact that we measure Earth flat with elevation angles to those stars that we use for navigation, you wouldn't have a globe. The globe comes from flat Earth measurements. Every measurement of Earth is flat.
No benefit or value to society. And
no, just you serve a benefit if you're kept under control. That's what this is all about. Control. You need to be kept under it. And one of the methods that they do it with is with the one world religion of heliocentrism, where you have been trained to believe in a model that was created by the Roman Catholic Church about 500 years ago. Not even a model, you couldn't even call it that. It's a mathematical inference that gives them a better understanding of where the stars will be in the sky. Has absolutely no bearing on the reified version of that religion that you believe in. You're kept under control with that religion, like any religion. That's what they're for. This religion is just a religion that the majority of people are unaware they have. And when you tell them, like I'm telling you, about your religion of heliocentrism given to you by the Roman Catholic Church, you'll brace against it. It's not a religion, it's real. We are on a globe. Where'd you get the measurements? I'll tell you, from a flat Earth, that's where.
In any way, shape, or form is censored by the government. And the reality is the government really doesn't care about flat earthers.
Why would Congress approach Google specifically about their YouTube coverage and algorithmic favoritism that was being offered when people showed an overt interest in this subject? Why would Congress demand that they did something about it? And why would YouTube make it overtly clear publicly that they would and will and are censoring us? Oh, they don't have any interest other than to go to Google specifically to tell them to do something about us? You clown. You have no idea what you're babbling about, do you?
They don't give a shit about it.
Other than sitting in front of Google and telling them to do something about it, they don't give a shit. Yeah, they do, son. They absolutely do, because we're a threat to the control they have over you. That's what we are. That's why we're censored. It's always about the why. We expose the religious control they have over you. So you need to be protected from us. Why? Well, because we challenge the control that they have over you with the religion that you believe in. And here you are vehemently defending it, in spite of your Dunning-Kruger total ignorance of the subject. You didn't even understand entropy after looking up a 2-sentence description of it on Google.
About any of you, okay? You are
Stockholm Syndrome.
made.
Yeah, he loves his abusers. Yeah, you do, don't you? You don't want to accept any responsibility to look into whether or not what you've been told is true. You'd rather throw it back at your opponent who's telling you why it isn't. Admittedly, with not the greatest of standards. But you prove it. Your flat Earth would have a vacuum. Oh, really? Everybody's under the same misapprehensions of sky vacuums as you are they? What a zealot.
Fun of by everyone because of how silly you are. They don't need to censor that. People
Yeah, they do, and they have, dumbass. They don't need to. Why have they then, Dumbo?
just don't listen to you.
Except you are, and you're making a response video about it. That's self-contradictory. You're smug about the fact that you've just contradicted the entire video that you're making. What an idiot. I just made a really contradictory statement. Nobody's listening. Other than me making a video about you and how I don't appreciate that Congress has been told, or has told, Google to do something about flat earthers on YouTube. And YouTube, Google, have responded and said, no worries, we'll censor them. And if people happen to find them, we'll put a little tag under their video that says it's all wrong.
If you were to have a microphone in front of millions of people, nobody would listen and the government wouldn't need to do anything about it.
Just ignorance, isn't he? You're dumb as shit, mate. You have no idea of the situation, do you?
NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. I'm going to fact check you on this, okay? Asa, to beguile, deceive.
Oh my god! If somebody was making this crappy standard on our show, they'd get in trouble, wouldn't they? Let's be honest. So what?
He is correct though.
And NASA, which is an acronym, is actually a Hebrew word, or is it an acronym?
The latter.
So it's an acronym. So this is just a coincidence then?
Deceive,
Possibly.
lead astray.
Not possibly, factually. It's not a Hebrew name they've ascribed to themselves.
Delude. This is true. It does mean to deceive in Hebrew. But at the same time, what does that prove?
Nothing. First sensible thing you've said so far.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. You're absolutely right.
Okay? That means literally nothing. I'm going to...
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, I think if we make the same point 3 times, it strengthens it greatly. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. And, moving on.
make the assumption, like let's say that everything that you are saying is correct. There's a secret government organization, or maybe not so secret, but there is a global conspiracy to suppress that the world isn't flat, okay?
Global conspiracy to suppress that the world isn't flat. Yeah, that's precisely what we have. It's called heliocentrism. It was invented 500 years ago. It came to pass by commission, if you will, of the Roman Catholic Church. Their own mathematicians charged with better predicting where the stars would line up. And out-of-the-box thinking led to spherical Earth and elliptical orbital motion with time. That's what we have now. These are all invented by mathematicians. You think you're standing on that sphere, though. Where did that sphere come from? What did they use to create it, you may ask? No, you're not asking that. You're too dumb to ask those sorts of questions. Anyway, we asked them and got answers. And the answers were flat Earth elevation angles to the stars that they were being charged with making better predictions of. And the heliocentric Copernican model was the answer to that question. Where will they be at what time? Doesn't mean we're standing on a ball. It means that you've got some out-of-the-box thinking from some very smart mathematicians to try and better predict a one singular system for the movement of the lights in the sky when they're multiple separate systems. I mean, it's fair play on them. They did a pretty good job. But it doesn't mean you're standing on the reifiable version of those mathematics derived from flat Earth principles. It would violate the principles that give you the calculations. The principles of the measurements are flat. You're measuring a flat Earth to create these derivations of orbital motions and sphere Earths. I don't expect you to even comprehend my summary of it, let alone go through the arduous task of researching it. I doubt you understood my summary, son, right? Lost you halfway through, no doubt.
That the world's a globe. And NASA's in on it, and all the world governments are in on it, okay? Why would they make these little, NASA actually, guys, what should we name our government agency in charge of faking and leading the propaganda?
Who cares? This is called an appeal to motivation fallacy. Does it matter why they say they go to an area that doesn't exist? Does it matter? Oh, Bob round the corner says he goes to Narnia regularly. He says he does have a portal to Narnia in his wardrobe. Okay, but Narnia's not real, right? No, I know Narnia's not real, and you know Narnia's not real, but Bob round the corner says he goes to it regularly through his wardrobe. Okay, now there's two ways we can attack what Bob tells us about going through his wardrobe to Narnia. One, we can question his motivation to lie about it, or two, recognise he's a nutter who is lying because there is no Narnia to go to. Now, likewise, with your astronauts that you believe in, because you're not going to the sky vacuum, are you? You're not going through the wardrobe, son. But they are, according to them. Why would they lie? Who cares? There is no sky vacuum to be in. Their motivation to lie to you is kind of inconsequential. I know they are lying. There is no sky vacuum to be in.
Well, let's just secretly make it to deceive in Hebrew, okay? That would be like Walter White, okay, going to cook meth in an RV, but instead of in the desert, he does it in a Walmart parking lot. And instead of being inconspicuous about it, he puts, "This is not a meth lab," out front of the RV. So when the police roll by, they go, wait a second, that doesn't seem right.
Okay, that seems like a pretty crap comparison.
If all of everything that you're saying is true,
It's not really like a neon sign outside a Walmart when you had to look it up and fact check something that you'd never heard prior to a commenter that you divined their social habits from. You hadn't even considered it. Is that equivalent to you seeing meth lab in Walmart's parking spaces? Really? You hadn't even considered it. It's a false comparison fallacy.
NASA meaning to deceive in Hebrew is by
Because something you considered all the time, right? It was so glaring over like a neon sign in Walmart to you. No, dumbass, you only just read this in a comments section.
far the stupidest and goofiest thing NASA could have done if they actually were trying to deceive you. NASA has
No, NASA are deceiving you. They claim to be in a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum. Why would they give you green screens? Because there is no sky vacuum.
666 in their math everywhere. It's
cares?
almost like 666 is a fucking number.
is.
NASA has a lot of numbers in their math.
Yeah, this is a crap standard from crappy flat earthers who don't appreciate the power of a dispersion description in the second law. Yeah, gas fills space. That's it. End of your sky vacuum.
Every picture of space is a literal cartoon image that NASA admits is fake. You repeated this from your other comment too. I don't know if you just copy pasted this because you're that lazy and stupid. But again, you don't have any proof. And then you did copy and paste the first comment that I already made a video about. And then finally, gravity has never been proven, never detected, never observed. You need to prove against all other rationale that the reason an object drops is uniquely the act of gravity and nothing else. Know what's funny about this comment?
They don't understand that there's no phenomena. They've invoked it on behalf of the opponent, described that all things go down, and it asked him to explain it after claiming there isn't a phenomena in a long-winded way. Okay, if you're claiming there's no phenomena, why ask him to justify why things go down? Now, in the reality that we actually exist in, nothing's going down. As I sit here, nothing is going down. Actually, I'll lie, it's raining. I wonder how the clouds got up there. What with all things going down? With the force of gravity pulling everything down? So the gas and its mass gets pulled to the centre of Earth, does it? No, it doesn't. It expands from the ground upwards. But not all things go down. But the commenter is telling him there's no phenomena, but then asking him to justify half of the effects that we observe in the medium that we reside in. Like, not all things go down in this medium. In a different medium, things behave very differently again. Start describing how things behave in water, for example. A different medium. It's medium specific. But furthermore, and more critically, not all things go down. So why are you asking him to justify it, commenter?
Somebody literally linked him a proof. You have to prove how all matter attracts all other matter indefinitely and how that concept is why things fall. Helium balloons disprove gravity.
Yeah. So if you're going to suggest that mass is attracted to the greater mass, then a helium balloon necessarily must go down. It doesn't. Same with clouds. Your gravity is a downward bias at 9.8 meters per second. That's what you have as your claimed downward bias. That's what gravity is. In your high school education, I'm not going to get into fourth dimensional space-time building. You're far too stupid to understand any of that. Yeah, laugh it up. He's debunked gravity. If mass attracts mass, then helium balloon must go down, right?
Bumblebees disprove gravity. Did you watch the beginning of Bee Movie and seriously think that we have no explanation for why bees fly?
According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground.
And support their body weight, it's why they fly. Gravity is escape.
They're supporting their body weight on the air that they're moving through, right? So is that air going down, go boom boom, for the bumblebee to push on? Is the mass of the air going down, son? What's the bumblebee pushing on again? The gas that's going down, go boom boom, go splash splash? No, it isn't, is it? It's coming out of the ground and going up, facilitating the bee's flight through the air that's going up. Yeah, there's no factories in the sky producing gases. Yeah, they're all produced at ground level and go up. What are you going to do? Drop a microphone and ask me why all things go down, you total clown?
Scapegoat for all things that can't be explained. The only problem is one of my subscribers linked to you evidence of an experiment that could be replicated in your fucking basement.
Right, an experiment? Do you want to link us to it? Are we going to get to see this? What's it showing?
That proves gravity exists.
You can't prove there's a downward bias. Not all things go down. There's a reason it was superseded 109 years ago. The idea that you were taught in high school, yeah, because they don't teach you the full story. They don't respect you to give you the full story. So as you went through your high school education about gravity, you were told that mass attracts mass. Wrong. Superseded 109 years ago by Einsteinian bent fourth dimensional space-time. Not they told you that or taught you that. They taught you something that's wrong. Mass doesn't attract mass. The mass of the air isn't being attracted to the mass of the Earth. You total buffoon. You think that you're going to prove mass attracts mass in a basement? Number one, if you're performing the scientific method, step one is to observe a phenomena. What's the phenomena? Well, things going down. Looks up at clouds. That's the end of that phenomena. Clown. That demonstrates that you don't understand what science is either. Shout out to Unitox Femu. Says eucalyptus produce gas and growing up. Okay, well, thank you very much for the super chat. 107 people watching. Please share the show if you've not done so already. Smash the super chat to support this channel.
Although, I can't help but notice, but you completely ignored that. What can you prove? What do you know about?
Are we not going to get to see the proof, see? Is that it? He put a link! We win! Well, what was in the link? Was it a naturally occurring phenomena of mass attracting mass? No, gas doesn't do that. Gas doesn't go down, go boom boom. What would the bumblebee press on if it was just pooling of puddles of gas? Gas doesn't do that.
About Earth? Nothing. Very, very telling from a person who wrote multiple paragraphs in a YouTube comment section like an internet keyboard warrior and did the exact thing that he criticizes me for doing. You provided no proof. You provided no evidence. You didn't link anything that supports your.
Sorry, you did. Sorry, show me mass attracting mass. Oh, it was superseded 109 years ago by Einstein. It doesn't. But you only had a high school education, didn't you, son? So you have no idea about pseudo-Riemannian bent space-time geometry, do you? You think mass attracts mass? All things go down. No, gas does not do that. Even after looking up entropic dispersion, you still don't comprehend it. It's beyond your pay grade, son. You're just too dumb. But I don't mind monetizing you. I don't mind getting super chats off your dumb ass. No worries, I can monetize stupidity. No worries. Thank you so much for demonstrating your Dunning-Kruger idiocy for my paying audience. Smash the super chat to support this channel. In case you're wondering why I'm being overly egregious with my e-begging with regards to this dick, it's because this guy, at the beginning of the 2-minute swearfest, told us how he was farming views from idiot flat earthers. Oh, really? Well, I'm monetizing your dumb ass, son.
Claims. All you did was make baseless assertions that made you look extremely silly.
Same claim he made last time, mate. Baseless assertion. No, he cited second law of thermodynamics. What you've done is said he linked a proof of gravity and you didn't show it. That's a baseless assertion. The link proves it, does it? No, that's just a hyperlink. Doesn't prove jack. Now, if you'd have clicked on it and explained how we have a natural phenomena that defies gas behaviour, hence superseded 109 years ago, then maybe you'd have had a point. But no, what you've done is used a baseless assertion, haven't you, you complete clown? That's projection. Shout out to Sensual Goat for gifting a membership. Really appreciate the support.
And goofy, and everybody thinks lesser of you because of it. If you are a representation of the flat earth community...
Flat earth community? What? Earth's measured flat. Now, I, Nathan Oakley 1980, have a YouTube community that I have built, and I've built it around putting out information about the way the world is measured. Flat. Now, that's not a flat Earth community. There are grifters out there who like to ascribe that title to themselves, but more often than not, they don't even know Earth's flat. Now, us, it's the other way around. Yeah, I'd happily call myself a flat earther, but not because I formed that description through the community that I've built on YouTube. Earth is flat. That's how it's measured. Your globe faith comes from those measurements. So it has no bearing on any community standards when we're talking about flat earthers or flat eartherism. It's inconsequential. It doesn't make any difference if I was the only person saying it and nobody agreed. We'd still measure Earth flat.
You have collectively made everybody from the flat earth community look worse.
Not really. You cited the second law of thermodynamics. You just didn't understand it.
And because I've made this video about you, more flat earthers are going to come to my channel.
Yeah, they will. You can be damn sure of that, son. Yeah, please let Jay know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that alludes to the fact that we covered his video and pointed out how stupid he is. No, don't tell him that. I'll just remove your comment immediately. Yeah? So, yeah, you will. Yeah, you definitely attracted some attention. But you'll probably get a few people actually explaining how the second law of thermodynamics, dispersion of gas into vacuums, applies to your fundamentalist religious faith in a ball earth sky vacuum Copernican religious belief that you hold. That's what you'll find out from the flat earthers that flood your comment section. Letting you know I sent them. Shout out to Unisox Femi again for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. It says, we are in sea level and natural law community. Yeah, things that aren't contentious. I mean, we're not forming... I know you... I can appreciate your sentiment, Unisox Femi, and thank you for the super chat. But you don't base communities on knowing how the ground's measured. I mean, there might be a group of you that know how the ground's measured, but is that basis of a community? I mean, you could say that. And like I say, there's grifters out there that base their entire identity on being like Flat Earth Dave. Oh, well, okay, well, I mean, good for them, more power to them, but I just know Earth's measured flat. Thank you for the super chat. Oop, wrong button.
Harvesting you for content. You took the bait. You call me a lazy YouTuber? You're correct. Do you think I have all day to make videos about you?
No, you just got time to spew out a few searches that you do based on comments you don't understand. Derive the, social habits on Facebook of the commenter and make yourself look incredibly stupid. Have you got time to do research and make yourself look intelligent? No, and you'll self-confess that, won't you, Dumbo? What, you're going to hang it out there like it's a badge Look how little research I did. Think I've got time to make myself look intelligent? No, I'd rather look like a thicko.
When one only has a few hours a day after working to make videos, they can't be that high quality.
No shit. You made yourself look incredibly stupid. Well done. Yeah, time well spent, I'd say, son. Because it certainly, it certainly was monetized by me. Yeah? But whether or not it made you look, intellectually superior to a flat earther, it may be in your mind. To me and my audience, though, it's pretty obvious just how stupid you are. By demonstration and examples, pulling apart the words you actually say. With examples, citations, proof, measurements, laws of nature, things like that.
Especially if I'm doing these daily. So I've definitely taken shortcuts with my content, and I'm going to continuously harvest content from the Flat Earth community.
Oh, great. Well, if you end up responding to me, be sure to do the exact same, service that I've done for you as a smaller YouTuber. That is to say, make sure you put a link to my video. When you come back and go, I've done no research, but gas does go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. Therefore gravity and everything's cushy. Yeah, we'll see how your 2 hours of research combat 10 years of actual dedication to this subject. Yeah, we'll see how you get on, son, as you farm my views. Enjoy the views and comments from my audience, son. I'm sure they'll be really complimentary to your fantastic intellectual prowess.
As long as you Neanderthals continue to comment on my channel. And I enjoy them. I enjoy reading them. I appreciate you for being here.
You do? Yeah, well, when some of my audience explain how you failed to comprehend the second law of thermodynamics, I'm sure you'll make another video saying, that's just a baseless assertion.
EMAP is fake. Thank you for giving me another video. I genuinely appreciate you.
Oh, and thank you, Jay. I really appreciate it as well.
I hope you have a beautiful day.
My God, figure out how to get your audio levels in check, mate. Ugh, woof. Okay, like I say, please let Jay know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't flag the YouTube censor bots, doesn't get Jay to get his heckles up and start removing your comment by his own volition. But please let him know that I sent him along. Maybe point out some of his failings in his 2 hours of research to farm YouTube comments. Talk about an epic backfire. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. That was great fun, Liam. Really appreciate the share.
It was indeed.
Any comments from anyone in Discord? Yes, Nathan, we really enjoyed it. So glad you... Oh, well, I'm glad you all enjoyed me covering it. Glad you're all so enthusiastic to put your 2 pennyworth in. Well, I'll just do a bit of e-begging. I just had a massive car bill for like 400 quid. So if anyone wants to hit me up on PayPal, Ko-Fi, become a Patreon, this would be the right time to do it. Why not do some e-begging off the back of Jay? What day is it today? Wednesday.
I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
Yeah, like I say, I would appreciate a few comments and views, and whether or not people like his video, you know, I don't know, but the YouTube algorithm doesn't seem to favour likes and dislikes as much as it used to, so that's not necessarily that important. He's getting more views, that's for sure. That's what he wanted, right? He said, oh, I look forward to getting your comments. Well, I'm sure my audience will satisfy that need. Great stuff. Got at least one more video to cover tomorrow, and then we're in politics on Friday. How can we get the politics shows to do better?
What, in
literally,
terms of numbers or on the day?
On the day, on the live stream, they typically have like usual, like same as we've got now. We've got 120 people watching, right? On the politics show, we'll have the same, 120, 130 people watching. But then after they go live, YouTube seemed to vanish them for 12 hours. And even on my own front page of my channel, if you go to the live tab and try and press on the video, it doesn't click. Tap it and tap it and tap it, and it doesn't come up. And then 12 hours later, it'll appear in the feed. And you're like, well, there's a reasonable amount of interest that's lost when you're making daily videos if they don't get to appear in the lists of your own subscribers for 12 hours. But it just seems to be the politics show that they do that to. I don't know why. they just don't like promoting it. So after a day and a half, it'll end up with like 600 to 800 views versus 900 to 1,000. You're like, why? Anyway, I have to figure something out. You know, I can only do so much e-begging for shares, right? And the audience is fairly dedicated in that regard anyway. They'll all share the show when you ask them to. Thank you so much to all of you who do share the show. Thank you for sharing this show. It's the only reason we've got 100 plus people watching. If it wasn't for the people who smash the share button on a regular basis, we wouldn't have the decent live audience that we do.
Did they ever fix the stage in politics?
No, they're missing a mod to actually set the pages up. So the person who was moderating the Flat Earth section of politics left, meaning that they had no person to set up a stage. So whether or not they've resolved that, I don't know. Not that it made any difference to the view count either. So it's not like that well-organised show we did 2 weeks ago on a stage with organised questions. It's not like that suddenly had more views. In fact, it was even worse in terms of its performance. But it was an exceptional show. You know what I'm talking about? The one 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it was properly slick. Information rich. Several, maybe half a dozen or more questions that were answered. But yeah, they're the least popular shows of the week. Now, it might just be that people just prefer us doing like we did today, video responses, rather than actual debate. So if that's just the way it is, I mean, people like the Omi videos more than they like the video responses. So, go figure. Anyway, any more comments? If not, I'm going to round out and ask people to stay tuned on an after show. Any more for any more? No? With that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, bailed me out of my poorness on Ko-Fi and PayPal and all that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching an after show. Massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels, and I will see you all in the next video. Shout out to Caprica Soul, who says, I've been Caprica Soul, and I'll see you all in the next video. Well, that's good to know, Caprica Soul. Thank you so much. Stay tuned if you're watching on an after show.